All right. Well, hello there, Katie.
Hey, Katie.
Hi.
Welcome. I'm Nadine Nicholson. This is
Derek.
And we are the founders of Ascend Leadership Co. And it is our pleasure and our honor to have this conversation with you and celebrate you as a coaching client of ours. It's been a real amazing journey. And yeah, we're looking forward to diving in and asking you a few questions and getting you talking and
Sounds
go
good.
from there. Welcome.
Okay. Thank you.
So how about we start with
With you.
So tell us a little bit about you. Tell us about your business and what you do to support clients.
Awesome. Well, I'm Katie Phillips. I'm one of the partners with Tricon Solutions. And our company is a consulting firm with a focus on IT project management. So we work really hard with our clients to understand the project issue that they have in front of them. And then we can staff that with one resource or many resources or an entire team with our expertise in the background to help support them to meet their business goals. We've been in business in Calgary for 17 years and support clients across Canada. My role specifically is in our operations side, so all of the back office support to run the company. That's my area of responsibility. And I have worked with Tricon for 17 years and been an owner for going on 4 years now.
Thank you for that overview.
Excellent.
So as we kind of look back down memory lane, where were you before meeting us?
Very stuck is how I would reflect on that. Things had shifted for me where I felt unmotivated every day to get up and work in my business, which was a huge change for me because I had been previously very passionate about what I did and very excited for what the future held. And that feeling of stuck was throughout everywhere in my life, my business, the work that I was doing, my personal and family life. And it just got to the point where it was really taking a toll on my health and growing beyond just some business feelings of being stuck in the business.
I remember how painful it was for you at the time. Like
Absolutely.
You were, up in the middle of the night, and I remember you sharing how you had a lot of practices, you had a lot of things that you have learned, but you had a hard time like having them stick and really be sustainable.
Absolutely.
And you really didn't know what was going on or how to get to the bottom of it. You just knew that something needed to change. Yeah.
Sure. Yeah.
Thank
That
you.
was where I was at.
Yeah.
And there's such an integration, and we talked a lot about this between sort of that business and life. It's not like work and life.
Yeah.
But it really is fully integrated. So when you're stuck in one place, it has a big impact everywhere. So it's really important to acknowledge that and to see how that can change. So,
another thing that's coming for me about where you were was you were on the back burner.
Mm-hmm.
You as a human being, you have a lot of people in your life, like your husband, your children, a lot of people at work who are really depending on you. And it was, you were finding yourself like, where am I in all this? And really finding that you were sacrificing, not intentionally. You weren't like, oh, every day I'm going to wake up and I'm going to sacrifice myself. I'm going to sacrifice my health. But that was what was happening. You were on the back burner and being compromised.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what? Oh,
sorry. I interrupted you. Go
no,
ahead.
no, it's okay. Were you about to say something?
No, go ahead.
We're just like, see, it's totally informed. We're just in a flow. So what had it for you to say yes to working with us? What was it that had you say yes?
Well, like you said, I was in that place of something had to change. I knew I felt I couldn't continue the way I was, and I didn't know what that was. And after we had connected through the webinar that I met you at, and all of our conversations after, I just had this trust that I knew you would be there for me. that you had the coaching side of what you do, the consulting and the experience that you both have, and how that overlapped with some of the things I was dealing with. The process of diving in with the tools that you have, and just my sense of what you were going to put together for me. I felt that I would be supported in what I was going through, but then also pushed beyond that. And so have someone in my corner to support me through that transition, because I was at the point that I was ready to change, but I just knew I needed someone to help me get there.
Yeah. Thank you.
Awesome.
What would you say as you look back now down memory lane and you fast forward to now where you are? What has been like, which maybe the biggest results or, that you've experienced since coaching and working with us?
I would say the biggest change for me was in that misalignment between my core values and what I was doing every day. So I knew what my core values were. That wasn't a challenge for me, but I realized through our CEO day and the coaching after that I just wasn't living in line with what my core values were, which was then causing this conflict in me and more pressure and more stress on myself. So even just the work that we did in that first day together, just acknowledgement of some of the things that I need in order to be successful, in order to be in line with my core values. And then since that day, making small shifts toward that and being comfortable and confident with what makes me has made a significant difference in all of those areas of my entire life. And I see them and I feel it when I wake up every day. I'm excited again, even though the technical things that I'm working on or the amount that I'm working hasn't changed. Just my approach and my appreciation for myself in that and that alignment with my values and the fact that I'm working to get more aligned with that has made a huge shift and difference for me.
Yeah, what I'm hearing is like the work, the environment around you hasn't changed necessarily, right? Or the amount of work or what the company is doing and the workload. What has changed is your relationship with it, how you see it. First of all, how you see yourself coming from the inside out and leading yourself in your choices of how you are and the choices you make with your time and the actions you're taking. And it's about your relationship with what's around you that has changed, that has completely shifted how you interact with the people and with the work.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Thank you. Anything?
Yeah, I just have this I have this picture in my head of like you are in the center and all of those other pieces are just circling, flying around you. And sometimes there can be this tendency to kind of work on all these pieces and then never really seeing the progress. But it's like working in the middle first and then helping to align all those pieces around you afterwards. And that's what I've seen you do. And it's been such a pleasure to see you take yourself on, take your situation and some of the things that you're dealing with on, and then just integrate right away. Like you're such an action taker and you take the learning and you move, and it's just been awesome to witness.
When you have the clarity and like you have as soon as you have the alignment inside and you have that clarity, you go with the action very quickly. So it reminds me of as we're looking back and we're looking at your path and your progress and your growth and the changes, the results that you've experienced. What really gets reinforced for me time and time again is that women business owners and we primarily work with women business owners. We do work with men as well. I'm just thinking of women. You're a woman. What happens is so many of us as women, we overwork, thinking that, And then we get burned out. Like we think, oh, we're exhausted, we're tired. And we think that it's the burnout is being caused by the overworking. We're working too much, so that must be why we're tired. It's the burnout is not, the exhaustion is not caused by overworking. It's caused by the misalignment that you spoke with. And once that alignment happens between what matters to you, your core values, and how you're spending your time, there's no need to compensate with overworking, because there's just not a need for it anymore to compensate for that. So you got to the root of what was really causing you to be, in your words at the beginning, you said unmotivated, stuck, and really kind of like you were exhausted. You were feeling burned out. You were done.
Yeah.
Burnout, exhaustion, overwork. It's so often something that people think is really about time. It's like, I just don't have enough time for everything, or that feeling. And then you feel exhausted and stuck. And it's not what Nadine's talked about is, and what you talked about is, it's about integrity. It's not about time. It's about when you are in integrity with what matters most to you and you're aligned with your values, then the rest of that actually falls into place a lot easier.
And to build on that thought, what really has been happening with you, Katie, is that when we first started working together, you had what we call a say-do gap. There was a gap between what you said mattered to you and what you were doing. You weren't waking up, like earlier I said, you weren't waking up every day saying, I'm going to be in a say-do gap. That's not at all what you were intending, but what you said mattered to you was your health, your relationships, and what was happening is what mattered the most to you was being sacrificed and on the back burner. So as you closed that gap and you got an integrity with yourself and your core values, that has been the game changer for what you're seeing in the results and how you're feeling. So way to go, you.
Feels great.
Yeah.
So I'm wondering if you can think back and share with anyone who watches this video, what strategies or methods that you use to generate these results that you saw, and why did we help to catalyze, or how did we help to catalyze those results for you?
I think at my core, I'm a planner, and I was letting others plan for me and was working in a very reactive way. So the switch that I made has been to be very planful, thoughtful, and deliberate about my hours. And a lot of the work that we did with the time blueprint that Nadine and I created has really helped. I definitely don't work exactly according to that blueprint every day or every week, but the idea is there, and it allows me a bit more control over where I put my focus and helps for me to prioritize things as opposed to reacting to the people around me, or what's coming in from other people on my team. So that's shifted and kind of given me the control and some quiet focus time, which is also really important to me. And then I think the other piece that was really important to me was just that accountability around the coaching. I didn't just make this plan myself, and I wasn't the only one that knew about it. So I did feel a level of accountability to both of you that I would be, I've committed to do this and to make these changes and lay out the plan that was going to work for me. And so I wanted to follow through because of that accountability.
Nice.
And then the other piece that really worked for me was the 811 calls and the coaching opportunities that we had when something big came up. Like you mentioned before, just getting that clarity and working through some of those places that were getting me stuck again in that moment were really helpful in giving me the confidence in my voice for future situations that are going to come up that are like that.
Yeah.
I have now gone through some critical conversations and some challenging things with your help. And now I feel more confident going into future discussions of similar nature.
Thanks for speaking to those key components. And, I feel inspired to build on some of those thoughts and, coming back to the time blueprint.
Mm-hmm.
So the time blueprint is essentially what we do at the very beginning of working with every client. And it's where most of our clients, when we first start working with them, the bottom line is they have conflict between their personal life and their business and their professional life. So what we do is we create a rhythm or a blueprint that actually creates harmony between their personal life and their business. And the idea of it is to have just enough structure and just enough flow that you're not like tied to the structure, but the structure guides you to be able to have more freedom and to have harmony between your personal life and your business. 811 calls have been really, we've had so much fun doing these with you. So what this is it's kind of an interesting little name. It's something we came up with where we have scheduled coaching calls with our clients. And then in between those scheduled coaching calls, we do these real-time 811. It's kind of like not a 911. It's not quite an emergency, but it's something that really can't wait till the next scheduled call. So we're in the pocket, helping you out, usually responsive within like 24 hours, if not the same day, and help you with whatever's going on so that you can keep moving along. And the critical conversations are where so many people and business owners, entrepreneurs, leaders are relying too much on email communications and these one-way flow of communications that are very ineffective to create mutual understanding and to have successful relationships. So we help our clients, and we've been helping you learn and get more skilled at and confident at having these two-way live conversations about very important things, which helps you build the relationship, grow the relationship, and helps create clarity faster rather than confusion when relying on email communications. So you've just really jumped into embracing these supports and really implementing and taking those so that you have these skills within you and you can continue to apply the skills going forward.
Absolutely.
So, way to go. Sweet. When you look back at first, considering working with us, and we had some conversations and we did a needs analysis to see where you were, what you're needing, and how we could potentially help you. And then we made an invitation to support you and coach you. What fears or hesitations did you have back then? Like what came up for you in that journey?
Well, I think the two big things were the time and the money. Did I, in my current state of stuck in that moment, was I just layering more on my plate, and how was I going to take that on? Because I was already feeling overworked and overwhelmed. And then the other is just the return on investment. So sometimes it is hard to know if you invest in yourself, what returns are you going to get? So those were the two biggest things that came up for me.
Yeah, and that's always one with, especially when you look at sort of self and investment in self. It's really easy to say, okay, well, if I buy this, I can make this, and that's a pretty dramatic return. But when you talk about investing in self, if you can create sustainable change in self, like how long do you get those returns for, and what would be the lifetime value of that return? And then trying to figure out and put a number on that, it's like, what's that equal to?
Yeah,
it's hard, right?
I love to say when we're at that stage of making an invitation to support somebody, I like to say, well, this investment, the point of this is that this is meant to pay you back every day of your life going forward. But when a person is at that moment, it's hard to see that because they haven't experienced the results, the change yet, the return on that investment. So it's kind of like it can be words coming from me, but it's not a lived experience yet, right? So as you look back now, if you were to tell a message to your past self at that stage for those two items, right? Of is it going to be more work on my plate, and can I handle that? And number two, will I get the return on investment? What would you tell yourself now?
There was a time commitment, absolutely, but we were able to get that, the bulk of that done immediately, within days of agreeing to work together. And after that day, I was excited to work on the things that we talked about. So any more time that I was spending was time I was enjoying.
Yeah.
And I was able to immediately put some changes in place in my day-to-day that just shifted the way that I was working. So then I did start immediately to feel more energized by what I was working on, in more control, and have more time for the other parts of my life that are very important to me. So there was this trade-off that was very seamless, and it didn't feel like extra work. And then the return on the investment, I felt the shift right away, and the value in having both you guys to support me through a lot of big things that I was dealing with at the same time. And other people have noticed. So although I don't have a number, or I don't think I'd ever be able to monetize it, just the impact that I have felt so far and will continue to feel on myself and others around me. I definitely feel I got the return on my investment. No hard numbers, but
yeah,
I feel it.
But you could tell your past self, hey, it's okay. Like, it's going to be okay. You're going to get this.
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm worth it. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm worth it. Awesome. That's
Yeah.
really awesome. I'm worth it.
What had you back then? What had you ultimately say yes? What was it that really clicked for you?
You're able to look those hesitations in the face and say, I'm doing this.
It was just that trust, from having talked with you, and the tools that you had, that you shared with me that you would use. I just had a trust that you'd help me get there.
Sweet. So now as you look back, right, and you think, okay, now I am here after this support, what would you say your life and your business is at now, compared to what it was like, compared to what they were like before we started working together?
Yeah, at a high level, what's it like being Katie now?
Yeah, what's really different now for you?
That feeling of stuck is gone. I wake up excited every day to do the thing that I love, and that was where I had been. My personal life, my family life has shifted dramatically, I believe, because I'm making room for myself now that I wasn't before. And the shifts at work and in my business might be a little slower to build, but I have received recognition from multiple people that they see a change in me, and I don't get to see them that often with our virtual work environment right now. So I know the little bit that has happened on the work front so far will just continue to grow and evolve, and will benefit me for years to come.
You're so lit up.
Yeah.
Can really see, it's like you're glowing. You're literally glowing. It's amazing. It's incredible to see. So if there was someone, let's say there's someone who's considering working with us, and you happen or you happen to be talking with them, and what is it that you would say to anyone who's considering working with us and partnering and coaching?
I think that the change that I've experienced has been significant in my life, in my leadership capability, in the voice that I have as a business owner, and it has been significant, and it has been swift, so quick. And the process of getting there hasn't been painful in any way. It's been really exciting. I've learned more than I thought I would ever be capable of learning during this period of time. And it's so worth it. For the change that you get, and the value that I got out of those discussions that we've had so far, and the day that we spent together working on me, it will stick with me.
Amazing. Thank you, Katie.
Great.
Anything else you want to add? Share.
I just thank you. It's been amazing, and I've appreciated the time to get to work and get to know both of you.
Oh,
Awesome. Us too.
oh my gosh. It has been, I'll speak for myself. It has been my absolute pleasure to interact with you, support you. You're like a sponge, you know, you're ready. You're ready to learn and you're ready to implement. And you're also very open to saying, if you've got some inner talk, that's some doubt or some things that you're not sure about, you voice it and you say, here's what's coming up for me. So you're very coachable. You have natural leadership abilities, and you're just getting started. Like, you have such a future, such a potential ahead of you, and it's been a pleasure to be able to contribute to you.
Yeah, and I just want to say, really just around that natural leadership ability and just what I've seen in your leadership transform and what I see for your future. All those people at Tricon are pretty lucky.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're going to have a huge impact.
You really are, and you already are. You already are, and you have a bright future ahead of you. And the ripple effect. Just think about all of the employees and contractors who work at your company, and the impact that you're having to create a better workplace every day, and which is one of your goals. That's very important to you. And the ripple effect on all of the clients, all of these big companies, huge corporations that your people, your employees, your contractors support through your work in the company. The ripple effect is profound. And, you know, really
clients and all the families of those people that work for you as well.
Not to mention your own family, which of course, this is where the whole conversation started, right? For you and your own family.
Totally.
So thank you for joining us in this. How can, if someone listening is interested, curious, reach out to you to learn more about you, your company, how can they get in touch?
Yeah, our website is triconsolutions.ca, and my email is katie.phillips@triconsolutions.ca. So feel free to reach out directly or connect through our website.
And it's Katie with Katie.
Yes.
Phillips with 2 L's and
That's
1
right.
P. Well, 2 P's, but they're not right beside each other.
That's right.
So PHILLIPS. All right. Amazing.
Awesome.
Thank you for
Thanks
joining
us, Katie.
Thanks for having me.
Have a great day.
All right. Bye for now.